Konnichiwa, konya no rezu yokoso, everybody, and welcome to Performance E-Streaming. I am myself, Mr. Carl Wilkinson, with thee, and I'm joined here up in the booth by my number one senpai, Mr. Matty Hunter. Matt, how you going, mate?
Going good, Carl. Yep. It's yeah, we're offshore for the first time in a long time. I think. Yeah, for the series. Like, I don't know if the series has been out of the USA or not, but yeah, here we are.
No, I think we've tapped on Canada a couple of times, but it's really been the mainland US that's been the home. And well, there's not many ovals outside of the US, and we are at one of the most famous one of those tonight here for Twin Ring Motegi here in the beautiful land of the rising fog in Japan. So a very different track, a track that's not been raced for a long time, unfortunately, since an earthquake basically took it out of action back in 2011, I think it was.
No, I heard that wasn't the case, actually. I read that wasn't actually the case.
Really?
Yeah, I read that it was. I was just reading before that it is actually wasn't damaged. It is still there. It is. They're trying to get INZCAR to go back to it.
Well, it's still, from what I understand, it was a structural damage to one of the bridges. So I think they needed to redo that, and they're just not wanting to do that because I know that Sato did run around it, but with a pack of cars, they're just a little bit worried. So it would be nice to get back over there because it is such a interesting little track, this one. If you've never seen Motegi before, you're in for a treat. It's a bit of a mix, as Matt was saying before, Darlington and New Hampshire. It's a big egg-shaped track. It's fairly flat, fairly fast though. This place is going to be absolutely killer on the left front. Watch out for those to start burning up as the fog will start to lift and the sun will start to peek through. Track about 1.5 miles in length, 2.4 kilometres. But it has got a very wide open first set of corners, which has a very tight 3 and 4. So keep our eyes out for those. Current temperature, 21 degrees Celsius, air temperature 24 degrees, track temperature. It's pretty windy out there as well, about 22 kilometers per hour winds in a northeasterly direction. That could really unsettle the cars out there. So I expect to see a couple of people struggling if they get caught by one of those gusts.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if that's a tailwind or a headwind or what corners or crosswind or whatever, but yeah, if you've got a nice big tailwind like that, you just have to be a bit careful on when you're leading into the corners.
No, absolutely. It's never fun to get caught by a big wind. I'm just trying to actually work out myself which direction that would be in, as I'm trying to find my track map from the actual Google Maps, and it's not working on me. But I've got a feeling. So I think you'll get a little bit of a tailwind through 1 and 2. So that will start coming a bit of a head through 3 and 4. So just doing my quick workout of direction. That could be very wrong indeed. We've got qualifying going on at the moment, and it is Ryan Jones up in pole position as it stands. Just a couple of thousandths ahead of Hamish Gallagher, Darren McKenzie, Aidan Schultz, and Jason Martin. 29 cars out here tonight, so a fairly decent field. People willing to travel over to Japan. They're so used to staying in the States, obviously. So shipping the cars off to Japan this week. Some teams are paying the extra price for it. So qualifying is just ticking towards the end. A few people coming out just for a quick bit of extra practice as well, I think, just to get their eye absolutely in on a clean track. As lots of drivers were doing some practice runs, but they didn't quite get those nice, clean runs that they were hoping for. Of course, we are in season 2 of the 2023 series. So we're at race number 2 of 12 as well here on Performance E-Streaming. So qualifying has just ticked over, and let us run through the starting grid for tonight's race.
It's very, very unusual. Ryan Jones and not in second.
I know, it's odd to see him so far up the grid. Maybe he'll get a bit of a nosebleed. But Hamish will surely make sure he finishes in his beloved P2. It is Ryan Jones up on pole position with Hamish Gallagher on his outside. That's row number 1. Row 2 sees Darren McKenzie and Aidan Schultz next to each other. Row number 3, we've got Jason Martin and Luke Crubb. Good run up there in qualifying. Gary Bow and Luke Traher make up the 4th row. 5th row sees Joshua Carroll Walden next to Adam Malone. Phil Bissett, Barry Neal make up the 6th row. Row number 7, we see Stevie Dubb next to Andy Barber. Josh Micklemore and Lachlan Oakway make up the 8th row tonight. Row number 9 sees Mark Smith next to Jai Schultz. Norman Clark, Tristan Koch are on our 10th row. Mirko Dortnack lines up next to Andrew Dyson on row number 11. And row 12 sees Brad Fenley next to Jake Noyli, Neil Pearson, Ruben Phelps, Matty Ray, Kobe Jordan and Luke Georgeson are runners out here tonight for this round number 2 of the Thunder Series. It is Wednesday night, that means it is Thunder. And look, tonight we wish to send a bit of a get well soon. I hope you get a speedy recovery to former broadcaster of Thunder, Mr. Peter Wilkinson of Locked On fame. He's not too well at the moment, and hopefully we're wishing him a very speedy recovery. And from all of us here at Performance Eastern and ANZCAR, we wish him the very best. And look, we hope to see you back and feeling better and getting back into the action soon, Peter. Look after yourself, mate.
Indeed.
So tonight's race is going to be an interesting one. The first time that we can think of Thunder going international, especially for a oval course. I mean, as I said, there's not really that many ovals out there in the wild. A few lurking around, but this is not that common. Sometimes see the odd road course get taken up, but it's usually the ovals are very much American based. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets this one absolutely right tonight. And it's going to be a tricky one as well, Matt. As we're saying, tyre wear is going to be a factor here.
Yeah, that right front. I did a few laps earlier just because I've never seen the track and never done any laps on it before. And I felt like you're spending a long time on the right front. And if you enter the corner a little bit too fast on the corner, it's going to sort of wear that right front tyre. So I think you're really going to have to look after that and got to just be super patient. I felt the corners were really super long. So yeah, as I say, I thought it was a bit of a mixture of Darlington and sort of New Hampshire, sort of like maybe sort of like a Darlington, but with big wide corners like New Hampshire sort of thing.
It's about 10 degrees of banking, so it really isn't that much on the old banking. It's such a weird little track, but it is a very wide track as well. Got to keep your eye out for people because passing could very well be done. As we are getting lined up here for the race, and it's going to be Jones and Gallagher leading us away here for Twin Ring Motegi. I'm going to shut up. Let's enjoy these cars roar away for race 2 of the Thunder 2023. Lap 1 gets the green flag. A few drivers just touching the wall there on the exit of 3 and 4. A couple of drivers having problems through 1 and 2, just getting a bit loose. One of those was Jason Martin. He's dropped down the field like a stone. So not the way he wants to have a run tonight after a poor first race for his championship defence this season. Quite a few cars getting very, very loose on that opening stage as well, but everybody keeping it in the right direction, luckily. Up the front, it's Hamish Gallagher that's taken the lead. Hamish Gallagher, of course, no stranger to the Xfinity car. We know he's quick in this thing, and he's already stamping his foot down, getting up into the lead ahead of Ryan Jones, slotting him into his preferred spot, P2.
Yeah. I'm sure if he can't beat Hamish, he'll probably deliberately put it in the bin, just so he doesn't finish second. You'll never hear someone more unhappy finishing second than Ryan.
I just hope he gets a nice P2 in the championship. That would just be the perfect way to seal off his season. But we'll see how that one runs a little bit further down the field. Just saw Barry Neal just having a little bit of moment, car getting a little bit sideways, but he kept it pointing in the right direction. This is probably the closest to a home race for most of our drivers. It's slightly closer than America and Japan, but not by much. So he's kind of really wanting to put on a bit of a show and get that win tonight, I'm sure.
Indeed, yeah, and it's definitely the first visit for ANZCAR to this track as well for official races. So it looks like Hamish Gallagher's returned from his little bit of a break, and business as usual up the front there.
Hard man to beat in any car, but the Xfinity is one of those ones that really, really can be a speciality of his. He's so good in this car. He's good in any car, but you put him in an Xfinity car, he just takes it to the next level, and he's doing that at the moment. Darren McKenzie sitting there in third with Aidan Schultz in fourth. No real moves up in the top four positions, other than Hamish and Ryan just swapping positions. Luke Crum moving up a little bit, getting up into fifth position at the moment. But everybody's sort of keeping relatively calm in this opening stage. They're not putting too much emphasis on pushing hard. Some racing going on down towards the pack, but everybody just taking it easy in this opening stage. They just want to get a few laps underneath their belt, get an idea of how it's going to race tonight as well, because for a lot of these drivers, and as you were saying, Matt, you've never really raced this track yourself, but it's going to be the first time they're racing here as well, which really can throw you off when you're racing, of course, for the first time, because you don't know how it's going to act in the race itself. You do the practice laps, you do the qualifying laps, you can get quick times, but you don't know how the race is going to go. You don't know if it's going to go on too wide easily, or if sitting behind somebody constantly is going to just make the car feel a little bit worse, or there are all these little questions that these guys have in this early stages, and I think they're just going to get those answered, and then we're going to see the racing start to kick off in about 10 laps or so. We're seeing some of that racing starting a little bit further down. Jake Maloney, we've not seen Jake for a while, and sort of come back in the Xfinity cars, which is nice. We know how quick he is. He's up 8 positions so far. Lachlan Urquhart battling with Jai Schultz as well. They're side by side here, really fighting hard in these early stages. Down in 17th and 18th position. There's some good fights going on down here in the latter stages of the pack.
It's a bit hard to get a wide shot to see sort of what's going on because of the fog, so we have to stay pretty close to see.
Yeah, unfortunately the morning mist has rolled here in Japan, so it's making the wide shots a little bit tricky, so we've got to keep the close-ups going on. Andrew Dyson's working his way up the field as well, and he's managed to get 4 positions. Just made a move on Lachlan Urquhart, looking to try and make the counts on Jai Schultz next as well. You've got Neil Pearson back there as well. Not seeing Neil too much in the Xfinity cars, but we know how quick he can be, and he's working his way up there quickly as well. Those two teammates working well with each other. I'm sure they're letting each other know what's lines working, what lines not working, and seeing where they can get in this race. So as we roll on lap number 9 here, as might exit there for Jai Schultz, gets it moving forwards, and it's given Lachlan Urquhart a bit of a run here down the front straight, and he's going to look to try and get the inside line in this very wide sweeping turn at number 1 and 2. Got a lot of real estate on this track, but not so much you can use in these cars. Of course, relatively low downforce. These things are absolutely brutish with power, but grip is not always their strongest point.
No, they've just been nice and patient looking after those tyres. Hamish is just slowly eking out a gap, almost up to 3/4 of a second now.
Yeah, the 13's moving along nicely at the moment, and the leaders are sitting relatively calm at the moment. They're not putting too much pressure on each other. There's some nice gaps being made. Luke Crum doing a good job in P5. He's got about a second gap over Gary Wellman at the moment, keeping right on the back of the Golden Octopus sponsored car of Aidan Schultz.
Yeah, good to see Luke Crum up there. It's obviously a track that suits his style.
He's been having some good results recently, Luke Crum, so he's going to hope he can carry on with those, and sitting inside the top 5 is not a bad way to do it. Aidan Schultz having a good run as well. Consistency sometimes has been a little bit of a weak point for Aidan Schultz, but he's been having a really good run recently and keeping consistently on the track and keeping in some good battles as well. He's hoping he can build on that for a good championship run. Darren McKenzie sitting up in P3 at the moment. We know how good Darren McKenzie is, and he does have some experience at championship fights. He's going to hope he can actually take it to the championship leaders this season after just missing out last year, but having some really good results for McKenzie. And if he can keep up this consistency, he is going to be in for a good one. Keep an eye on that car, the 0-2 of McKenzie this season.
Definitely having a strong year, always up around the front.
Here's Luke Crum starting to put some pressure on to the back of the 52 at the moment. Just trying to take a few different lines and a little bit getting very close to each other. I'm not sure if there's a little bump and run there. They've got very close to each other there. Just being very kind, not pushing extremely hard. But Luke Crum looks to have a little bit more pace at this stage of the race on lap 14. Looks to have a little bit more front tyre on that car, just has a little bit more confidence through the corner, and maybe the rears are a little bit cooler as well because he's got much more confidence on the exit too. So you'll see how this one unfolds as we jump on board with Luke Crum here in the 0-3-0. Keep an eye on what he's up to in the car, just letting it breathe through this slightly tighter corner through 3 and 4. It's on the power down towards turns 1 and 2. We come again this very wide large access sweeping corner and just dropping down. A couple of drivers I did hear swapping down to 3rd gear, but I think most of them will be sitting in 4th at the moment just to stop any of that wheel spin, and getting right back up to speed, up to about 280 to 85 kilometers per hour on the back straight here into turns 3 and 4 again. And slightly tighter set of corners this one, but I'll let the car breathe. A little bit of dab on the brake as well. Getting on the power is key though. You want to get onto the power for this nice long straight here. Crum's got some power here, but just doesn't have the speed to beat Fred Flintstone there and get his way up into the lead of this little group of cars. But he keeps on attacking, keeps on trying, and he keeps putting the pressure on. I hope he can just catch a little mistake and then make a leap up into P4 in this race.
He went quite deep under brakes there, just had to check a little bit more. So he's definitely exploring, trying to work out how to get past Schultz there.
Yeah, they're starting to lose a little bit of time to Gary Wellman behind as well. You can see the Sim Boys car closing up, and this is what happens when you start fighting with each other on track. You start to slow each other down a little bit, and that's closing the gap behind to Traher and Joshua Carroll-Walden as well. So those cars starting to close up the gap a little bit further up the field. Got Jones and McKenzie, they're pulling away from P4 and 5 now. And Jones has got McKenzie on his rear. And McKenzie's starting to look a little bit interested there. He's not close enough to make the move, but he's showing he's got intentions. And he's saying, look, any little mistake, I will jump on that quickly. As keeping an eye throughout the field, as I think Schultz got a little bit of a worse run off the corner, and this is going to be Crum's opportunity here. Down the inside he goes, and Wellman's gone, all right, I'm going to take advantage of that, as Schultz has had to run up high, and he's offline here. He's not able to get on the power as quickly, and all it takes is that moment, and all of a sudden you can lose 2 spots side by side here. Schultz and Wellman coming down to turns 1 and 2. Wellman on the inside, Schultz on the outside, and looks like Wellman took perfect advantage of that move, managed to jump underneath Aidan Schultz with Luke Crum and moving both up the position.
Yeah, it was a perfect move from Gary there. The door was open. He really needed to get in there while Aidan was hung up high, and he got in there and then was able to get the job done. So that sort of looks like how the passing sort of kind of be done up the front here. It's waiting for the other guy to make a mistake and then, yeah, being in a position to capitalise on it.
Absolutely, a little bit of battle going on a bit further down at the field for, well, from 12th to 13th. Oh, somebody's just gone around, and it's Mirko Dortnak that's going to bring out a first caution here tonight in the 93. Big wreck for that car as he clips the wall and smashes it on the front straight. And we'll see here in the replay just how perilous that can be, because that front straight has concrete barriers either side of it. And it caught Dortnak off guard and absolutely demolished his car. It's coming off turns 3 and 4 here, just gets the back end stepping out, up, slides it into the safer barrier. I think that was the lap before. So he just survived it that one, but it looks like those rear tyres have just started coming off a little bit. And then this is going to be it here. He goes a bit too wide, clips it up in the wrong spot there, just as the safer barrier ends. So it's a big heavy hit on the concrete wall there, smacks it down, flings it up into the path of some other cars. Great avoiding job by everybody else there. Just squeezing their way through. I think that was Kobe Jordan and Tristan Koch who survived that one. So that was a big accident there. And I think, unfortunately, that's Mirko Dortnak's race run. He was not big in Japan.
No, and the question will be now who comes into the pits as well.
I get the feeling we're going to see everybody darting in to get some fresh boots on this car. We're going to see people changing just the one side. I wonder if will anybody gamble with that, or are they going to change all 4 sets of tyres? We've only done about 20 laps in this stint, so still 74 laps remaining, but the tyre offset I think is too big to risk sticking it out there. Who's going to risk by just taking lefts or rights?
If you're going to gamble, now would be a good time to have a bit of a gamble and see what happens with just right side tyres only. Because if it doesn't pay off, you would still have a bit of time to make it back.
That's it. So we'll see what the stop times are as everybody is coming out of their pit bays. And Ryan Jones taking advantage of that number 1 garage, gets him out in first position. So just looking at the pit stop times, it looks like everybody apart from Jai Schultz has taken 4 sets of tyres. So we know Jai can sometimes do the counter strategy. He's got a bit of damage on the front right of that car though.
I think Barry Neal's taking a big long stop as well to get some damage repaired.
Yeah, Kobe Jordan, Norman Clark, Brad Fenley, Stevie Dub, they've all taken some big repairs. Just going back to look at Jai Schultz and seeing what's happened. He's had a similar moment to Mirko Dortnak, where he's just drifted up on the exit, and he was a little bit luckier in the fact he was just coming off the corner, so he was a bit straighter on, didn't bounce the car off, but a heavy hit to the right front. But he was stationary for about 10 seconds, so that tells me he's only changed 1 set of tyres, so he's taking a little bit of a gamble here. Perfect time though for those people that did take a bit of a whack to come in and get those repairs done. So, racing is reset here in a foggy Japan, as we are at the Twin Ring here in Motegi, Japan, and getting ready for the restart of the race. The pace car is turning off its lights and will be popping into pit lane in the very near future, once we get round to turn 1. And we'll be going back to full throttle racing here tonight on Performance eStreaming. So it's going to be interesting to see see what happens to Jai Schultz with that single tyre set change, and see what this does to everybody's race as well. They can't make it to the end from here on fuel, so there's going to be another stop here in the race. If we are green or if we see a caution, then they will be coming down the lane, I'm sure, in the near future. But how's everybody going to go on this restart? Pace car about to pull in. It's going to be Ryan Jones leading away once more. Back up the front is status quo as the green flag drops and Jones puts his foot down. We're here again for race 2. Season 2 of the Thunder Championship. Dan McKenzie getting a good start, getting underneath Gallagher, starting on the high side. Did not pay off for Gallagher because that's given McKenzie the chance to stay low here. McKenzie's going to try and get the run off the corner, see what he can do here, see if he can get himself ahead of Gallagher. That will be crucial if he can, because we know Hamish is very quick. So McKenzie's thinking, I'm going to use it up early, get myself ahead and stick up there. Great racing, side by side as all around the car goes in the background. We might have a caution flag out, and indeed we do. Let's see who that was. Lachlan Erquio that got nudged around there in 3 and 4. So let's see the replay here.
Lockie's just lost it on his own. And it's checked up enough that Neil's had him, and then Adam Malone down the bottom kind of had nowhere to go either.
Peril of cold tyres there, perhaps. And the back end just stepping out on him. And Adam Malone got really caught up in that one and balked heavily. Looks like Erquio actually got relatively scot-free out of that one. But unfortunately, Adam Malone was very much in the wrong place at the wrong time. So caution flag is back out here. This is going to give people the opportunity to maybe pop in and get a little bit of extra fuel, get a few extra repairs done. I don't think we'll see anybody changing tyres, but we might see a few people stop in and just brim up the tank a little bit, maybe, just to give them a little bit more mileage to the end. But if you've got some damage, this is the perfect result for you, because you can pop straight in, get some repairs done. It's a fairly long lap around here, especially under pace car conditions. About 58 seconds, I think it is, under pace car conditions. So, about a minute and a half, even, actually, by the looks of things. So, you get a fairly decent amount of time to get some repairs done. And indeed, we're seeing that now as Stevie Dub, Annie Barber, Lachlan Erquio, Anne Malone, Brad Fenley, Jai Schultz have all darted in. And I wonder if Jai was just putting on the extra set of tyres there as well, as he just did not feel quite comfortable with that one on that restart.
Yeah, and I just noticed on that wreck as well, Adam Malone did a really good job of holding the car down there. Kind of sacrificed himself a little bit. He could have steered out of it and saved himself a bit of damage, but he would have come up the field and probably been collected by other cars, but he had really good awareness to keep the car down low, and unfortunately copped a bit more damage from doing that. But saved a possibly even bigger wreck happening by coming up the track into the other more cars at speed.
Yeah, self-sacrifice there from Adam Malone. And, well, hopefully the damage is not too bad. Hopefully it's more cosmetic damage than anything else. They've managed to chuck a new front splitter onto that Southern Stars car, and it's got getting back out into this race. So hopefully not too much damage done to that Mustang, and he can get back in the race, because when you do little moves like that and don't end up causing a bigger wreck, even though it would probably save your car a little bit less damage if you did, it's always a good way of going about it.
Yeah, I just hope the other drivers are aware of that as well and appreciate it, because just looking at it, he definitely had, he could have come up the track and caused a bigger accident, but he did really, really well holding it down.
Absolutely, and we always like a good cause like that, and if you're looking to support a good cause and maybe get some racing done while you're doing it, the Golden Octopus Foundation Race for the Gold to help raise awareness for the Golden Octopus Foundation, help kids with cancer fight on, and the families of those children battle it out as well. Coming back here to Japan for that one, it's going to be racing at Suzuka on the on the 1st of July. I should know it by now. I keep looking at it, and then my brain keeps blanking out whenever I do. But it'll be on Saturday, the 1st of July for that one. So if you are interested, head over to the link that we will be posting right now in the YouTube chat channel, and you can find more details on that event being run and hosted by Brett Campbell as well. A place very close to his heart, and fantastic cause as well. So if you're looking to have some fun, have some racing as well, please head on over. It's going to be a great race using the TCR cars in an endurance style event. really, really fun track and car combination as well. So we'd sorely love to see some more drivers jumping on board with that and getting involved as well. As we are looking at the beautiful golden octopus car there of Aidan Schultz, supporting and showing that colour scheme as well. So we're going to be getting back to racing here very shortly. We saw a very, very quick restart. We saw how perilous the outside line can be on that restart. Now Hamish Gallagher is in the perfect spot because he's back on the inside line. And Darren McKenzie's thinking, oh, God, all that hard work I did just to get past Hamish, that could easily be undone from here. As he's going to have the inside line. I'm stuck up on the outside. So he'll have to see how that one plays out. On the inside line, you've got Ryan Jones, Hamish Gallagher, Gary Wellman. On the outside line, we've got Darren McKenzie, Luke Crum and Aidan Schultz. That's our top 6 at the moment here. And look, we should be getting back to some great racing. Just got to get the cars through those corners, get it back up to speed, back up to temperature, and back up to performance. And then you can really start pushing. Who is going to have the pace on this restart? We're going to find out. Pace car pulls in. And we're about to go back for green flag racing here. Twin Ring Motegi here on Performance Heat streaming for Wednesday Night Thunder. And a big run down the inside. Hamish Gallagher's already moved up ahead of Darren McKenzie. That inside line looks very, very good for the start. The outside line seems to be struggling. One of those men is Aidan Schultz, unfortunately. He's been held up right on the high side here through turns 1 and 2, and that's lost him a whole heap of positions. Meanwhile, throughout the field, there's monster racing going on at the front. Hamish Gallagher looking to make a move on Ryan Jones here, trying to get himself back up into the lead after Ryan picked him in the pit lane. And got to say, Hamish has looked very fast out on track, but Ryan's going to be defending as much as he can. And he is a driver that is known to be fairly good at the old defence, Mr. Ryan Jones. He's going to try his best to see what he can do here, but Hamish is all over the back of him. A bit further back, the action is still mad and fun. You see Luke Trehette, Gary Wellman racing. Luke Trehette had a good restart there. Jake Knightley moving up as well. He's up 16 positions in this race in P8. He's got Josh Nickel beside him. So just behind him now, I should say. Jason Martin working his way back up through the field after an uncharacteristic mistake on the opening lap. He just got a bit loose, similar to what happened to Lachlan Urquio, but he just saved it by dropping it down onto the apron and saved that car from spinning, but it lost him a lot of positions. The field is getting very close and the racing has been switched right back on as people are on fresh tyres here. You can see Jason Martin battling out with Andrew Dyson now side by side, but up the front, Hamish Gallagher looking to get a run on Ryan Jones here. He's going down the inside in the 13. Ryan Jones is getting in there, he's turning through, but he's losing speed as he runs up high. Car washes out a little bit. He's going to try and get a better run off the corner here. It's going to be a drag race between the 11 and the 13, but you've got to say the 13's looking good here with the inside line in turns 1 and 2. And Gallagher makes the move and moves himself back up into the lead. Can McKenzie jump out? No, he can't, because we've got a caution going on. A huge wreck in at the mid-back. Big wreck happening, as I think may have had Lachlan Urquio involved in that one again, unfortunately. I think that is.
Definitely, yeah. Lockie's definitely in it with big damage. Let's see if we can find what's kicked that off. I don't know if he was in the initial part of it.
No, he's got caught in it. So kicking it off was one of the Lucas Oil cars, and I think it was Phil Bissett. So contact between Bissett and Ruben Phelps is what caused that caution flag to come out, and it's a bad night for the Lucas Oil cars. As Phil goes around in at the 30, and unfortunately he rolls himself right up in front of his teammate there. And yeah, I think that was Mark Smith that took a big whack, and then a few other cars really getting caught out there as well. A lot of damaged cars in that incident. Phil Bissett, Luke Georgeson, Tristan Koch just getting caught, I think. Lachlan Urquio got tagged down into, and I'm pretty sure I saw one of the another car caught up in that one as well, but I might have been thinking of the wrong one. No, it was Stevie Dubb, I think, just got a little bit caught. Yeah, Stevie Dubb got caught on the exit of that incident. He got pinged up into by one of the cars. And
Yeah.
that's going to take a whole heap of cars out of this race.
Oh yeah, there's some big damage on those cars now.
Whew, that's going to really shake things up through the pack. There's a lot of good cars that got caught up in that one. So unfortunately, a lot of very quick cars got caught up in that one, and that's going to take them out of tonight's race.
Yeah, hopefully they can get some damage repaired and get it enough to keep circulating. But yeah, it's some big damage on the front of the 42, and there was a big hit for the 98 as well. I think the
So,
98's jumping out of the car.
The 42 is out as well. The engine has gone kaput in that car, so it's a lot of damage. So Phil Bissett, Lachlan Oakville, Steve Dub, Luke Georgeson, Tristan Koch, all taking a lot of damage. They're needing to get big repairs done. They have been shown the ever popular meatball flag. So that's their night's run, and I think they've actually got the 42 down in the care centre. So I might just drag Lachlan Oakville quickly. Lockie, welcome to the booth, mate. I wish we had you in better circumstances.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. That was pretty poor way to go out, to be honest.
Not the best couple of laps for you. We saw on the restart last time out that the back end looked like it stepped out on you.
Oh yeah, like that was my mistake. I don't know, like
Yeah,
that was mine. But like, yeah, that was completely irrelevant to what happened under that. I mean, I don't know how you don't see that coming, and how you barrel into a guy who you could see spinning from halfway down the straightaway. I don't understand how you do that. But yeah, I'm out of the race.
Yeah, we saw you just almost made it through, and then unfortunately got harpooned into, and that's a big shame to leave you because you look like up until those last few laps, unfortunately, where that's been happened, and then getting caught in an incident not of your own making. Looked like you had some good pace out there. We saw you making some moves earlier in the race.
I was a bit sort of, I don't know. I didn't really feel super comfortable, but I mean, I feel sorry for Tristan too. He's been taken out in that too. Like he completely did nothing wrong. He saw it coming, avoided the wreck. I mean, it's just both of us got screwed there. It just sucks a lot because I really enjoyed running this race. It's an awesome track. I was really enjoying practice. Even the start of the race, I was off pace and I didn't quite feel comfortable, but it was a fun place to run, and now I don't even get to finish it, so it's a bit heartbreaking.
It's never fun when these things happen. All we can do is wish you better luck next time. Hopefully next time we get you up in a booth, mate, it is for better circumstances.
Yeah, well, hopefully. I mean, I haven't had too many runs up to the booth this year, so I'm hoping to get a few more, hoping to at least get a couple before the year's out.
Fingers crossed we get you back here for some good results rather than talking to you when the bad ones come. Good luck for the rest of the season, mate, and hopefully better luck finds you next time.
Yeah, cheers. I mean, the other two boys do well. Ruben had a lot of pace in that car, so hopefully keep an eye on him to move forward as well soon.
We'll keep our eyes peeled. Thank you so much, Lachlan Oakville, the 42 tonight.
Go easy. Cheers, boys.
It's always the way, Matt, on a track that you're enjoying and you're sort of having some good times on a place you've not really raced before. When things go wrong, it is heartbreaking because you just sort of go, "Oh, I was really enjoying that up until that moment of just absolute doom."
You always think you're going good into it, into it's not really, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. It's always going well until somebody crashes into you, and then it does not go well at all. Looking at the top six actually, because Jake Maloney has worked his way up there, and we know how quick Jake is. He is working his way through the field very quickly. It's been a while since we've seen Jake out racing. Nice to see him back behind the wheel. We know he's very busy out in the world doing other things, but always nice to see him back in a car. And look, watch out for him on this restart because he is the man that's been making up a lot of positions, starting out at P5 in the orange and white car back there on the outside line. Green flag is about to fly. We're about to go back to racing here at Twin Ring Motegi on Performance E Streaming. Good start there from Hamish Gallagher and Ryan Jones trying to make the most of it as well up on the high line, see what he can do here. Maloney going really high in the opening stages, see if he can get a sprint around here. And Dan McKenzie having a nice solid restart there. He's going to be happy happy to start on the low line again. Did not look like he enjoyed starting out high as Maloney gets so close to the wall on the exit there. Very, very close stuff. He's working his way up. He's moved himself up into P4 now. As a little bit of a run behind. I think that might have been Ruben Phelps got a little bit sideways in the corner, but they all keep pointing the right direction here as we roll over to lap 38 of the race. 57 remaining here tonight. And the race is on. It's Hamish Gallagher in the lead with Ryan Jones, Darren McKenzie, Jake Maloney, Luke Treher, Luke Crum, Gary Wellman, Joshua Carroll-Walden, Andrew Dyson and Barry Neal. That's our top 10 at the moment.
Still a lot of side-by-side racing going on back down here from about 7:08 onwards.
Yeah, they are very much going for it at the moment, and people are... It seems like they know that the pace might not be there for in the long run to make the moves necessarily, so they might be wanting to try and get them done early on, see if they can get those passes done before the long run pace starts kicking in. And it's doing that. Well, two men actually. Luke Crum trying to go down the inside of Luke Treher there, doing a great job. And Darren McKenzie battling with Jake Maloney just ahead of them. They've got multiple moves being made as well as Joshua Carroll-Walden was battling it out there with Andrew Dyson too. Plenty of side-by-side action here at Motegi. And up we go as Maloney moves himself up to P3. Very quickly through the field, up 21 positions. Luke Crum having a really solid race out there tonight, and he is just trying to make the moves if he can, but he's got Gary Wellman on him as well. And look, speaking of a driver that's been racing really well recently, Gary Wellman, he has been absolutely on fire recently, really putting some great moves in and going better on some tracks there where traditionally he's not been as quick. He's really been putting in the extra effort recently and really taking it to everybody, having some very solid results, and he's inside the top 10 to try and get another good result tonight. He has Andrew Dyson on his outside, Joshua Carroll-Walden behind him, Luke Treher and Luke Crum in front of him as JCW looks to go free wide here down at the front straight. He's looking to make the move down the inside as Dyson goes around the outside. JCW looks to go around the inside, and Gary Wellman just lost 2 spots in the span of a couple of moments after I just sung his praises.
Commentator's curse. Yeah, you can just see he's got a poor run off the exit of that corner, and JCW and then Dyson was just able to drag past him.
Yeah, took advantage of that very quickly. Up front is Gallagher, Jones, Maloney, and they're setting some good pace at the moment, pulling a little bit of a gap over McKenzie. That was just ahead of Treher. Meanwhile, Dyson's making a move on Luke Crum now. Again, he's going down the inside here. Luke Crum's trying to come back at him a little bit, tries to unsettle the car a little bit, tries a little bit of bump and run. Can't quite make it work on the exit though, as Dyson has that thing planted, and Crum loses the spot there, but he's still inside the top 10. He's having a solid race tonight, and he has been pulling off some really good defences and also a couple of good moves as well.
Yeah, it looked like he maybe gave him a bit of a shot. Maybe just the Dyson sort of pulled down in front of him when he still had a run, but he didn't. It's awesome. I love to see that. It's giving him a bit of a bump.
Absolutely, you've got to do a little bit of a bump here and there. There's nothing wrong with that at all, unless it's unless it's done to me, in which case, damn you, Dyson. Oh dear. But up the front, Ryan Jones has got Maloney in his mirrors now, and he's going to be looking and thinking, okay, this guy's quick tonight. He's got some pace. I mean, it's Jake Maloney. He's quick everywhere. He might not be racing too much, but he is very quick when he gets out on track. And he's starting to apply the screws.
Jake is definitely, from what I understand, I don't know too much, so don't quote me out. If I get it wrong, but he's definitely one of the top road racers in this region, I believe, Jake, and certainly in the V8, he's very good and right up there.
Yeah, he's. We haven't seen him for a while in iRacing, in racing in ANZCAR, but whenever he does come out, he is always very quick, and he's especially good on the old short tracks and quarter miles, 1.25 miles. So this could well be a very good spot for him. So we'll keep our eyes peeled on Mr. Maloney, but he's got 2 very experienced drivers in front of him. Jones and Gallagher, they will not be wanting to make it easy. Luke Crum's battling it out with Gary Wellman at the moment, and this is the fight for P10. So these two green cars really battling it out, and they have got Barry Neal behind them, another driver that has got some really good pace. Watch out for Barry in the latter stages because he tends to be good at saving those tyres. But a great fight going on here. Every time I look, there's a different car leading against those two. Gary Wellman just getting it back ahead for the time being and pulling it ahead of Luke Crum, who's dropping down to P10. But still a long way in this race. We have got 49 laps remaining here tonight, 46 laps down here in a very foggy Japan. But what the sky is hiding from us, the racetrack is delivering. We're seeing some great stuff, great action here tonight.
Yeah, we're just seeing Barry Neal starting to work his way back up there now. I saw him in the background earlier on take a big shot into the wall, and he had a long pit stop to repair damage, but it looks like he's got good speed in that now. He's managed to fix that car up enough, but sort of hovering on the end of the top 10 there. As I say that, Phelps is going to try and make a move on him for 11.
Yeah, the battle of the Kiwis. Kiwi domination here for these two, seeing who's the best Kiwi. They just ignore Hamish Gallagher though, because he's a freak. We don't class him.
Hamish is clearly ahead in the best Kiwi race tonight.
we don't classify Hamish in any race, it's just a given. But good racing here between Neal and Phelps. And well, we heard from Erkler that Phelps had some good pace, so we'll see if we can take advantage of that. Josh Mickelmore as well, sitting right behind these guys. Do not discount the 31 Mitch Motorsport car because we know how quick Josh can be as well. He's one of those drivers that is very, very tricky to beat because he is very consistent, always got good pace, and he's always there or thereabouts when he needs to be. He's having a solid race at the moment, trying to keep himself in contention. He's down in 13th position at the moment. Brad Fenley having a good run. He's down in 22nd at the moment, but he is working his way through the field nicely, keeping that car relatively clean and in good shape. And he is seeing what he can take advantage of tonight as he's just behind Norman Clark, just ahead of Mark Smith. So this is also a lower down battle, but some good fights going on throughout the field right now.
Yeah, good to see Mark Smith still running out there in the Lucas Oil machine. Of course, that's the team that Mark Johansson, our fellow commentators, is part of. So yeah, give them a bit of your time and let them see how they're doing. Unfortunately, they got both collected in the same wreck, which is a real pain.
Never fun stuff. It's all very, very close move between Darren McKenzie and Andrew Dyson. I'm going to get a replay of that one because those two were absolutely door to door as they were going through the corner. Really battling hard at the moment, these two cars. Dyson just got past McKenzie, but they are fighting very hard with each other as this race goes on. Let's see if we can see that one here, but they're definitely going all out at the moment. And here we go. Very, very close to each other. And they've been swapping a couple of dabs of paint here and there as well. What we love to see in stock car racing. A bit of door banging is always welcome. A little bit further back, Gary Wellman is got Luke Crum for company as Luke Crum's going down the inside here, making a move on the Sin Boys entry, but Wellman's going to get better run off the corner. Will he, won't he? Not quite. Luke Crum gets a nice drive off and just about be able to slot himself ahead of Wellman here. It's close. He doesn't have the room to go up yet. Wellman's going to get a good run into this corner. Crum has to get this car stable, get through the corner. Try not to let Gary get the run off the corner. And Crum moves up in front of the 45. Nice little move there. A little bit of a check up behind. As you can see, Barry Neal's just had to step out, and that's given Ruben Phelps the opportunity to get the high line on him. Can't quite make the move at the moment. Side by side here. Through 1 and 2 just to go over the bridge. And we've got a car that is smoking as Neil Pearson and Luke Traher. Oh my word, that battle is heating up. Neil Pearson
surely not.
Neil Pearson was just doing a full drift there.
And Luke's is giving him a bit of hip and shoulder. Neil's saved it. Okay. Well, looking Yeah.
Don't know if you can get the replay of this one, Matt, but that was something else. So here we go. Side by side. And
Slider?
drag goes down the inside. Does a little slide job. Gets him sideways. Points him back the right way. Oh, normally we see Dyson doing the drifting, but it's Neil Pearson taking the mantle tonight. That was crazy racing between those two.
No, Neil didn't appreciate it, so he came across on the straight bit again. Of course, they got swamped by other cars. That gave Luke a chance to get beside him and gave him another bit of hip and shoulder out of the way. I think these two have a bit of a history, don't they? I'm not sure.
Maybe a tad.
They race each other hard.
They very much did there. That was crazy stuff. That's pretty crazy. We'll keep an eye on those two later in this race because I feel like fireworks are going to follow with those two cars. Up the front, the battle is starting to close up between Jones, Maloney and Dyson. We're speaking about the Driftmaster himself, the Driftmaster, Mr. Andrew Dyson. He is absolutely flogging it at the moment. He is creeping up to the back of Jake Maloney and coming alive in the latter stages in this 41. A driver that we know can be very quick, Mr. Dyson. He's getting his eye in on the ball. Meanwhile, there's a lot more action going on between Joshua Carroll-Walden and Ruben Phelps at the moment, side by side. This racing is great stuff. Jason Martin just sneaking his way ahead there. And he's been quiet all race after that early mistake, but Jason Martin doing Jason Martin things and working his way up the field quietly and unnoticed. And I'm sure next time we look, he'll be up in like a podium position.
I can tell you what's impressive is Crum. Like we saw him drop back from 6th spot to about 10th spot, but then he's looked after his tyres, and then now he's back up to 6th spot, and the people who had passed him are dropping back. The Wellman's dropping back. JCW seems to have a bit of issue with his tyres. Maybe he's really dropping back. So yeah, Luke Crum was really good and patient at the start of this run and saved his tyres, and now it's paying off. Absolutely,
he seems to have this track absolutely switched on tonight in the Inside Lane Productions car, and a little bit of damage on the front. I think that was possibly from the little nudge he gave Dyson, but he is really switched on tonight and absolutely mastering this track. And as I said, just holding off that little bit in the early stint has paid off here, and he's getting some good lap times. He's setting fairly good pace. He's just a little bit off of Darren McKenzie. But he's, most importantly, a bit faster than the cars behind. Meanwhile, we've got Maloney and Dyson battling it out side by side. Dyson goes down inside, gets some purchase there. Maloney's trying to get the run off the corner here, trying to fight back for that spot, but it looks like Dyson has done the Dyson-y thing and saved his tyres to perfection for this stint, as he is coming alive now and sending some good pace here. But every time you start battling with another car, you're going to put a little bit more pressure on those tyres, and you could start burning them off. So we'll see how this run goes on as these three battle it out. These three very close on pace as well. Jones, Dyson and Maloney. Gallagher about a second leader over this pack as well. So I wonder if Hamish is just saving a little bit, just not pushing too hard. We still have a long way to go, remember. We've still got 37 laps in this race. And we expect to see drivers probably coming into pit lane in about 20 laps or so. So the first, we should see some green flag stops here in the near future, unless we get a caution flag coming out, of course. And I wonder who will take advantage of those green flag stops, who will try a little bit of the undercut, who will try and keep it out as long as possible, and who will be in the making the right move in that respect. Tyre drop-off is fairly high. Drivers' fastest laps are about 37 deads. They're now in about 38 seconds, so about a second drop-off on the times. So those fresh tyres could well be a useful thing to have.
It could be as well. I'm just wondering who would be the ones who pull the trigger on that, who could get the most benefit out of it.
Well, we can have that question answered, I think, because we've got the 27 in pit lane. Just coming in right here, splitting this stint in half. He's done about 35 laps on this stint. He's going to do about 35 more to the end. Jai Schultz coming in for his stop, and he's going to see if he can take advantage of this. He needs it to remain green to get this run working. So we're going to see now the pace of some fresh boots out there.
Of course, he has one lap down now, so yeah, he will definitely want to stay green. Go along.
Wellman coming in pit lane. So one of the cars that was sitting inside the top 10, Gary Wellman, is the first of that top 10 group to come into pit lane, and he is going to take advantage of some fresh boots. So I think we're going to start seeing cars peeling in the near future. I think it's going to be more tyre dependent than fuel dependent here. They can make about 50 laps on fuel, but I think the tyres are probably getting to that stage where the crew chief is going, yeah, you might want to look at changing the seat. Depending a little bit more.
Yeah, I would think if you were in the back end of the top 10, you would want to roll the dice and see if you can take advantage of those, 1 second a lap time, quicker lap times, and maybe it might be enough to get you up near the front and see if you can hold on.
Yeah, take advantage of that, those fresher tyres, because you're going to get about, just looking at the lap times, and you get a good, probably about a good 10 to 15 laps where you're going to have a real big pace advantage, and after about 10 to 15 laps, that's when they start really dropping off, and that's when the times fall. Meanwhile, time is falling up the front. Hamish Gallagher's lead has gone from a second to 0.4 of a second now, as Ryan Jones is catching in, working his way up nicely, and Ryan's doing a good job of keeping those tyres alive, but he's got Andrew Dyson for company now, side by side they go, and Dyson, as you see there, just slides in front of Ryan Jones, moves himself up into P2, so Ryan's going to be desperately trying to get that one back as Jake Maloney's pitting. So the first of the front runners to pit is Jake Maloney. Not a surprise, he was hemorrhaging time, he was really falling off pace. I'd say his tyres had reached that limit, so he decided to pull the trigger now, and now the leaders can't. It's always that hard fingers, because if you leave it too long, you're going to lose a lot of time. If you come in and there's a caution, you're going to lose a lot of time. You're in a real horrible position right now. Who is going to be the first of these three to pull the trigger? How long are they going to stick it out? And what are we going to see here at Twin Ring Motegi? It is season 2. It is race number 2 of the 2023 ANZCAR Thunder Championship. And it's about to heat up here in Japan as Dyson is all over the back of Gallagher with Brian Jones there. And you see Jake Maloney just exiting pit lane. So it's just falling down at that lap. And now he's going to be flying along as Gallagher makes a mistake through turns 1 and 2. Gets on at the apron, just unsettles the car, and that's all Dyson needed to pounce.
Yeah, Hamish's pace has really dropped off. I was just trying to grab a view before
Gallagher's pitting.
Gallagher's pitting, yeah.
He's just...
I was actually wondering if he was maybe fuel saving or not, but looks like maybe it just genuinely dropped off.
Yeah, it just looked like it had just fallen off a little bit, and well, we know that Dyson is very good at tyre saving. We know that Ryan Jones put a lot of effort into that part as well, and he's gone from one of those people that tends to burn up his tyres to one of those drivers that looks after his tyres very well now, and it's a big progression we saw last year. Just started to get those tyres working perfectly, and he's doing a really good job in this run. He's keeping relatively close to Dyson. He's not coming in this time round, but Jake Maloney is all over the back of him trying to get his lap back. So we'll see how this one runs out. Josh Mickelmore, Jason Martin, Luke Trehare still sticking out. As I say, Josh Mickelmore's just coming to pit lane. Hamish Gallagher exiting here, and he's going to lose his position to Jake Maloney. That undercut from Maloney has paid off here, but will Gallagher have the pace to get himself back up there, as Maloney's just about to get his lap back crucially here from Andrew Dyson. So if the caution flag comes out, Maloney's sitting in a position where he's not going to lose too much time, at least. He will just lose a few positions. Dyson putting in.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Maloney's last lap, his last couple of laps have been about 1.5 seconds quicker than the leaders. So he's really gained a lot of time just in a couple of laps with this undercut. So now the question is going to be whether he can hold that on.
Well, we're seeing cars going into 36s now for the first time tonight. The fastest lap of the race was set by Hamish Gallagher, and he was a 36.9. We're now seeing people dipping into the 36.9s pretty consistently. Darren McKenzie, a 36.9 dead recently. So time is out there now. The track's rubbered in a little bit. and these cars are feeling good, so taking advantage of those fresh tyres. But as we say, they do drop off, so keeping it out there a little bit longer gives you a little bit more ammunition to fight back with later in the stint, but you have to catch up to those fast guys. That's always the tricky part. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this one unfolds, as Jake Maloney's got about half a straightaway ahead of Hamish Gallagher right now. So this is going to be an interesting run to the flag.
Yeah, and of course there's the old adage as well, it's one thing to catch people, but it's another thing to pass them. So, you know, even with the tyre advantage of a couple of laps, it's still going to be difficult for them to pass.
Very much so. And of course, you know, with people coming into pit lane, with the mix of cars out there on old tyres, fresh tyres, people coming into pit lane, people exiting, there's always a high chance of a caution flag being flown. And so sticking out at this stage can sometimes pay off, because we often see those caution flags flying when the people are coming in for green flag stops.
Yeah, that's what I think we've got 5 cars
Jones
now,
pitting.
top 5. Yeah, Jones pitting, Trahir, Barber, Malone and Clark are the only ones, and Mark Smith, who still haven't pitted.
Yeah, so there's a fair few. Mark Smith came in a little bit earlier with Norman Clark. They came in on that final caution. So they're not in as dire position, so they can go a little bit longer in this race. But they're going to be losing a lot of pace on the tyres. And I don't think, just looking at the laps remaining, I'm wondering if Norman Clark might try and see if he can actually make it on a very fuel efficient strategy to the end. We've seen Norman do that before, where he's just absolutely bossed the fuel saving. But we'll see how that one pays out. So Luke Traherne now in the lead of the race. And it's got Andy Barber in second with Adam Malone, the selfless man that saved us having a bigger caution. He's up in P3 at the moment. That's good to see. And it doesn't look like he's lost a huge amount of pace, and it's not as quick as it was. But that car is still chugging along at a fairly decent pace to the other cars around it. Andy Barber, he's only done about 35 laps on this stint, so he can go a fair bit longer here than Luke Traherne, who's going to be needing to come into pit lane probably in the next 5 to 8 laps for fuel.
Yeah, we don't think they can make it from here. It's 23 laps to go still, so it's a long, long way.
Yeah, it's a big, long stint, but we've seen some guys pull the rabbit out of the hat sometimes and make some amazing fuel saves. I wonder if we could possibly see some people taking advantage of that one tonight. Meanwhile, they battle for the leaders when everybody pits. Hamish Gallagher, Andrew Dyson and Jake Maloney. They are getting very close to each other, as Hamish Gallagher has Dyson all over the back of him at the moment, and Andrew Dyson is on a fly. He just set a 36.8 last time around. He is very much going quick now. He knows he can get home on these tyres, and he's using them up as much as he can. Ryan Jones drops down to 9th position after his pit stop. He is about 10 seconds off Jake Maloney at the moment, so he's going to want to take advantage of these fresh tyres and see if he can actually get up into those positions. Luke Traherne has decided it's time to pit, 52 laps into that stint. So he is coming in. That's going to leave Andy Barber in leading this race, and we'll get him the bonus point will tick next to his name.
It's a nice looking paint job on that car too.
It is indeed. It's a very, very pretty looking car, that one, with the
nice and simple.
Yes. With the whiskey sponsorship, always nice to see. But Maloney has got Dyson and Gallagher closing up on them, and it is Dyson and Gallagher in that order, as Hamish Gallagher lost the position to Andrew Dyson there, as Dyson is on an absolute flyer on those much fresher tyres by about 2 laps over Gallagher, and he is
4 laps on Maloney. Yeah, 4 laps tyre difference between Maloney and Dyson. and it's making a big difference already. We're seeing. Actually, let's chuck up and have a look at last laps. So we can see almost 0.3, 0.4 of a second.
That's a big pace deficit, isn't it, really? That Dyson's got some serious pace at the moment, and I guess what everybody else is hoping is that he starts to burn his tyres off a lot quicker than these guys. They're still setting good pace at the moment, but Ryan Jones is starting to catch in. Ryan Jones last time round was a 37.2, a good couple of attempts faster than these guys, so he's now trying to take advantage of his fresh tyres and seeing what he can do in this latter stages. We've got 18 laps remaining, and this is the battle for the effective lead of the race. They're catching up to Adam Malone as well, who's on very old tyres with a very old front end of his car as well. And this is where we could see some fireworks coming into play. Maloney versus Dyson. Dyson trying up for the high side here, as Adam Malone is still keeping his car in the right position on the track. He's got that pace for this group of cars. He just stood up high as Dyson's going to try go down the inside. Hamish Gallagher looking for this one as well. He's thinking, well, you guys get into a car, get me a position up. I'm happy to take that one. As Dyson darts down the inside and makes the move. Gallagher tries to get up there, but Maloney covers him off. Gets down in front of Hamish Gallagher. Will Hamish be able to get a better run off the corner here? Try and keep that gap to Dyson close, because with Dyson's pace, you've got to say he might have been taking a little bit too much out of his tyres, and they might just start dropping off a little bit quicker. Maloney's not given up on that first position yet. Effective race leader. They are still battling it out, but Dyson's fresher tyres are really, really helping out as Adam Malone decides it's time to hit. Meanwhile, Andy Barber is leading the race still. He's got about 5 seconds on these guys, and he's got about 10 more laps of fuel left in this car, so he's tantalisingly close to the end of this race. He's only been short by about 6 or 7 laps, which is always a frustrating thing, but if a late caution comes out, he's in a prime position.
Yeah, so Andy's definitely rolling the dice, which is really good to see. Like to see people try different alternate strategies and try and get themselves a good finish from it.
Always nice when that kind of thing happens. We like to see some different winners, some different victors coming to these races, and sometimes if you don't have the absolute pace, you have to rely on strategy a little bit, and there is no harm in that at all. And he is trying to take advantage of that one tonight, because he's had some good pace, but it's not been up there on the leaders. But he's trying to use a strategy to take advantage of that. And if it comes his way, he will be in a prime position. Battle for for P3 and 4 now between Gallagher and Maloney. Maloney just gave the wall a little nibble out at the exit of 3 and 4. And this is going to be Gallagher's chance to try and make a run through 1 and 2. He's going a bit lower here. He's trying to get the inside line, and he's going to get it side by side, the 13 and the 29 here. And it's going to be Hamish Gallagher making the move. Jake Maloney, though, will not sit and rest. He's going to try and get that position back. He's going to see what he can do in this fight. As they come into 3 and 4, inside is Gallagher. And outside is Maloney, and it looks like Gallagher's just got the pace to do this one. Gets his way past. As up the front, it's Andrew Dyson taking the lead for the race as well. As Andy Barber just gets past. Now he's going to be sort of feeling that sinking feeling, unfortunately. Still 13 laps of this race to go. If caution comes out, he's still in a really strong spot to make up a whole heap of positions. But it does not look like a caution is going to be coming out anytime soon.
No, he'd be really hoping for a caution, because as I say, yeah, he'd be right up there, come in and grab some fresh tyres. Pretty much everybody will come in and grab fresh tyres if there's another caution now, and he'd keep his good starting position on the restart. But unfortunately, yeah, as laps count down, you'd just still be hoping.
Yeah, it's a horrible feeling when you get past that quickly. So it's you feel very slow, but then you've got to remember that you've done a lot more laps than those guys around you as this race is going on. It's Andrew Dyson into the lead. He's got about 2 seconds over Hamish Gallagher now. And, well, did Dyson take a bit too much out of those tyres too early? Is Hamish going to be able to close that gap? It's not looking like it, as Dyson is setting some very good pace at the moment. Ryan Jones, he's closing in on Maloney and Barber at the moment. He's moving his way up quickly. He's just passed Darren McKenzie as well. One of those drivers that came in a lot earlier. He's taken advantage of the undercut, moved up a fair few spots, McKenzie, but it's starting to go the wrong direction now as those tyres are starting to drop off a little bit.
Ryan's only 3 seconds off his favourite position.
Still got a chance.
Still got a chance.
Maloney's coming into pit lane.
Oh wow.
I wonder if he's damaged that car and he's needing to pull it over. So that might be that for him tonight. So getting close actually. Ryan Jones could well secure himself a P2 here tonight, but he's got to beat Hamish Gallagher and Andy Barber at the moment. Although Andy Barber's fighting with both hands tied behind his back, you've got to say, as he's on very old tyres, as Jones just breezes past.
That's curious. Malone's had to grab tyres again, so yeah.
Yeah.
Very weird. Wonder if he... I'm not sure if I saw the right side go up. I definitely saw the left side go up.
Wonder if he maybe damaged when he gave the wall a clunk, if maybe he got a slow puncture or something.
Maybe, yeah, or maybe, yeah. I wouldn't think you would not change the left side tyres. And, you know, because if you're burnt them down to zero, percentage tread wear, I'm not too sure. Probably reading too much into it, but he's probably just sort of decided to roll the dice and put on a fresh set of tyres. If there's a late caution, he'll get a wave around and be good, but yeah, that's unusual.
See what he can take out of this one. Meanwhile, it is 2 seconds between Dyson and Gallagher. About 3 seconds between Gallagher and Jones. Darren McKenzie now just getting past Andy Barber, who is just falling back in the positions after that gamble has not really paid off. Although if we see a caution, it can still work out for him at the moment. But he's going to need to pit very, very shortly. I'm sure his fuel's going to be running on the sniff of an oily rag. I'm sure there's not much left in that car. But he's going to see what he can do in this run. Norman Clark still trundling around out there on his ultimate strategy as well. He's gone into full fuel saving mode, I think. So he's going to see if he can make it home on this tank of fuel and just see what he can do here. So keep a little bit of an eye on that one. We do love the odd fuel saving race.
I'm hoping Andy can save enough fuel to get home from here, because it'd be really good to see him come home top 5 with that strategy.
He could well get inside the top 10 with this strategy if he can make it home. He's only got 6 laps to go though. Well, only 6 laps to go. That's a lifetime, isn't it, really? That's such a long distance. But if he pays off this strategy, he could well see himself within the top 10. Speaking of the top 10, Ruben Phelps has just got past Barry Neal and got himself up into 10th position. He's trying to close the gap on Luke Crum, who's had a stellar night out there tonight. Although he's got a big heap of damage on the right front of that car. Not sure where that's happened, but he's taken a big old lick on that car and that slowed him down. Gary Wellman sitting up in P8 at the moment, cruising along nicely and keeping himself within the top 10. And he's right on the back of Josh Micklemore at the moment, so we'll keep a bit of an eye on this battle for P7 and 8. Jason Martin has just launched himself ahead of his teammate Josh Micklemore into P6. Then Andy Barber is still trundling along. He's still making it work at the moment. Only, hopefully. Oh, yeah, there he is, back. He blinks into the nether realm. But, it's not just the fuel that's running out on him, the internet is as well. He's going to have to put a couple of dollars into that one. He's currently sitting in 5th low, just behind Darren McKenzie, who has worked that strategy out very well, actually. He came in early and just used the undercut to his advantage, moving up into 4th position. Then it is Ryan Jones trying to catch up to Hamish Gallagher. He is closing, so the gap is falling between Gallagher and Jones here. So Ryan Jones could well secure himself a 2nd place if he can get past Hamish Gallagher.
Yep. He might be on for second here, Ryan.
Be a dream come true. Ever since he was a boy, I hear, Ryan Jones has wanted to finish in P2 here at Twin Ring Motegi. This could be the opportunity for him to get that magical P2 here tonight. It's Hamish Gallagher at the moment, though. He's going to be trying to stop that dream to come true for Ryan. The dream snatcher that Gallagher is. But he's sitting up in P2 at the moment and keeping fairly strong, but doesn't seem to have the pace that he had before. He's just struggling a little bit.
No,
Ryan's on much fresher tyres, though, remember.
Yeah. Ryan's got 5 lap fresh tyres, but he's half a second a lap quicker.
He is absolutely going. I wonder if Hamish's tyres are just falling off the cliff here. And yeah, he's really closing in. He's actually closing in a little bit on Andrew Dyson as well, but with only 3 laps to go, you'd say that Dyson is pretty secure in first. But we'll keep our eyes on this battle for P2 here, because this is on now between Gallagher and Jones. Who is going to be able to finish second here tonight? As Ryan Jones gets a good run off the corner there, 3 wide for a momentary second. With Matty Ray on the high side. Jones going down the inside in the 11, and it looks like he's got himself up into P2 here tonight.
Yeah, I'm just not putting out too much fight there. He knows he's pretty wounded, so yeah, he didn't put out too much of a fight there for Jones.
Well, a little bit further back, Andy Barber's just going to get passed by Jason Martin. He is almost done it. He's only got 2 laps to go. He's got a long way to make that fuel last, but if he can do it, he's going to get himself a top 10 at least. Mickelmore and Wellman will be closing in the gap shortly. He's got a couple of seconds over these two, and Wellman is going to be putting the pressure on. He is not going to sit back and let this one go easy. As Ryan Jones trying to close the gap, but 4 seconds to make up in 1 lap is a very hard feat indeed. And Andrew Dyson, 21 positions gained in this race, and he is looking like he is going to get himself the victory here in Japan. Only half a lap to go. It's within grasping distance for him. He's just going past Jai Schultz here and John, I think. Yeah. And he is about to take victory as ANZCAR heads to Japan. It's going to be Andrew Dyson celebrating tonight. He is going to be taking the checkered flag and the win here in Twin Ring Motegi. It's Ryan Jones who's going to come home in P2. His childhood dreams are absolutely fulfilled, with Hamish Gallagher in third. A little bit further back is Andy Barb, and he has just lost a position to Gary Wellman, but he's going to make it. Oh,
I think
it's
he's running out of
coughing, it's
fuel.
spluttering, but he's made it to the line and gets himself P8. Fantastic fuel save from Andy Barber. Luke Crum will come home in 9th position, a solid top 10 for him, and Luke Trahere rounds out our top 10 here. Josh Mickelmore coming home in 6th, Jason Martin in 5th, Darren McKenzie in 4th. Really, really good strategy there from Barber. That paid off for him and just got him there. The other driver that was doing the mega fuel save made it 59 laps. Just 1 lap less than Barber, but Norman Clark did it. 60 laps on that run for Andy Barber, a mega fuel save from himself, and he just coughed it across the line. But Dyson is celebrating in style here, burning up those rear tyres. It's almost like he doesn't have to pay for it. Putting on the drift, which he is going to be enjoying for sure. It's Andrew Dyson taking victory here tonight. 21 positions gained, a solid run from himself. It's Ryan Jones who comes home in P2. The man who got pole finished in the right spot in 2nd. It's Hamish Gallagher in 3rd spot, with Darren McKenzie bringing home 4th. Jason Martin started 5th, finished 5th, but had a fairly hectic race after an early mistake. Josh Mickelmore up 9 spots in 6th spot, with Gary Wellman in 7th. It's Andy Barber, the fuel-saving king, in 8th position. Luke Crum in 9th, and Luke Trahere rounding out our top 10. So we roll over the page. It's Ruben Phelps bringing it home in 11th, with Aidan Schultz in 12th. 13th for Barry Neal. Neil Pearson in 14th. 15th for Kobe Jordan, Jai Schultz in 16th, Norman Clark 17th, 18th for Aaron Malone, Mark Smith in 19th, and Matty Ray bringing it home in 20th. 21st for Joshua Carroll Walden, with Brad Fenley coming home 22nd, Jake Maloney 23rd, Luke Georgeson 24th, 25th for Tristan Koch, Lachlan Urquio 26th, Stevie Dub 27th, Phil Bissett 28th, and Mirko Dornak out early doors in 29th. So our first time out here in Japan, Matt, and well, we got delivered a really fun race there.
There was, yeah. It was, nice track to race on and very interesting and strategies as well. It wasn't so much a fuel strategy race, but it was a tyre strategy race, really.
Absolutely, the tyres were key for tonight. Although if you can make that fuel work, it showed, Andy Barber showed us that you can make a strategy come from it after getting himself inside the top 10. So what we will do is start off with our third place man, Mr. Hamish Gallagher of Mitch Motorsport, number 13. Hamish Gallagher, welcome to the booth, mate. Congratulations on P3 here at Motegi.
Yeah, thanks, Carl. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Fairly fun race out there tonight. It was that was a fair amount of work getting up inside the pit top 3 tonight. You had to do a lot of battling on track.
Yeah. We had the Darlington set up in it, and that thing's pretty tight at Darlington. When you take all the banking away, she was pretty tight, and I didn't do a very good job of looking after my right front. Pretty much the worst as far as rest of the teammates, and obviously the guys ahead of me. So we just sort of trundled around, tried to look after it as best I could, and just glad to finish. I didn't finish last week, so hey, got the end tonight, so it's good.
Well, that's it. A finish is always good. And, well, inside the top 3 is not a bad place to be. It's always a healthier option for the championship. We were going to ask about the tyres because we saw you dropping off a bit, but you've answered us on that one. The early stages, though, it looked like you had some good pace, but do you think people were just being a little bit more careful on their tyres?
Yeah, probably everyone was trying to figure out what the right line was, because I'm probably in the same boat as everyone else. I just brought the track 10 minutes before practice, and I've never driven here before, so I had no really idea what to expect. So I was running a very low line. That's probably not the correct line. It's probably one of the bigger arc, both in the 1 and 3. So that sort of hurt me in the long run there, I think. So yeah, no, it was still happy that get out here, and it was cool to race here. It's like glad to see Sean sort of mixing things up, throwing different tracks in and whatnot. So yeah, I don't really want to come back here anytime soon, but yeah, no, it was cool to do it once.
Oh, that's it. We've not converted you. That's a shame. Look, congratulations tonight, Hamish. Well done on P3. For a track that you've never raced on, that's not bad at all. But before I let you go, look, the usual thing. The love, the shout out, the sponsors, the fans, go for it.
Yeah, just shout out to you boys for doing the broadcast, and for Jason, Josh. Also, I think Jace he figured it out probably better than me. He just sort of started too far back, but yeah, he would have been coming, I think, towards the end there if we had another stint or something. But yep, just a shout out to everyone turned up. But probably a lot of people had to buy this track like me, so it's good to see them supporting the league in that regard. So yeah, just and I hope you're doing well, Carl and Matt.
Doing as well as ever, Hamish. Thank you very, very much. Always a pleasure to speak to you, mate. And hopefully we'll see you back in the booth in the very near future.
Yeah, probably not next week. I see we got a road course, so.
You know what, though, Carl? I think we might have found his Achilles heel. So anytime he's doing too well in the series, we might just chuck this twin ring in there.
We don't want to let him come back because he'll have figured it out by then, and then that's it. It's over.
Yeah, once he figures it out, we'll take it off the schedule.
We'll have to go to the Dock Hill Tri-Oval.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Hamish. Have a good night, and we'll speak to you again soon, mate.
Yeah, see you, boys.
Hamish Gallagher there for Mitch Motorsport. Next up, we're going to be bringing up the man, the myth, the legend, the man that loves second place. It is Ryan Jones. Ryan, welcome back to the booth, mate. It's great to see you back on form.
Yeah, phenomenal. Can't wait for Sonoma, eh?
It looks a bit dicey out there. You got pole position, obviously, and it looked like you might have been on for maybe getting a win, but we're glad to see you get back onto your usual form and falling into P2.
Yeah, fastest car over one lap. Probably the fastest car in the long run, but not good enough. Sonoma's next, boys.
That is it. Look, what's the name? Everybody's favourite track. Just quickly though, with some really good racing out there, we did see you having some good battles, and look, you managed to go a little bit longer on the tyres. Do you think that hurt you at the end, or do you think it was the right call?
Nah, it doesn't matter what I do. I undercut last week, that didn't work. I came second. Overcut this week, doesn't work. Come second again. So what can you do? May as well just
Come second.
start punching people lap one, get them out of the way, and then problem solved.
Well, that is it. Look, we look forward to seeing you for the rest of the season, seeing you secure that second place in the championship as well. That will be a glorious day for everybody, I'm sure. Ryan, look, the usual thing, the love, the shout out, the fans, everybody, go for it.
Yeah, big shout out Daiso for turning up again, because apparently he's unbeatable if I'm in the race. So it's golden.
Oh, look, we're always happy to see that. I mean, always happy to see you with a really strong P2 finish, Ryan. Congratulations, in all seriousness, though, really good run from yourself.
Yeah, not bad.
Thank you so much, Ryan Jones. Congratulations tonight, and we'll speak to you again soon, I'm sure, for another second place.
No doubt.
And a big shout out to Ryan's mum as well, of course.
Of course.
See you, Ryan. And finally tonight, we are going to bring Ryan Jones's Achilles heel, the kryptonite for Jonesy, Mr. Andrew Dyson. Dyso, welcome back to the booth, mate. Congratulations on a win here at Motegi.
Thanks, man. That was a fun one.
Now, question, have you raced on Motegi before?
The road course, but not raced here before. So it was good. It's interesting, different. Setup was a bit sort of, obviously not for the track, so had its challenges, but it was good.
Well, when you were racing on the road course, did you get a victory?
No, I don't think I've ever really gone very well here. A lot of people tend to just kick my ass, but
Great. Okay, so we got your first victory at Motegi. That's a good start.
yeah.
Look, solid run from yourself. We saw qualifying was probably not the best run for you.
No, I kind of went. I was looking good. I came down into turn 3, and I was all feeling pretty nice, and then I just gassed it too hard coming out of there. So I lit it sideways and decided I'd just sort of go with that to the finish line. And in the end, I'm not sure if my first lap was faster or my second lap was faster, but it still it got me in the race. So yeah,
That's the main thing. It got you in the race, and once you were in the race, you had a fairly good run. It was a sort of slightly slower start of the race. We saw you creeping your way forwards. Around about half distance is where we saw you working your way up towards the front. Obviously, not the easiest place to pass.
well, it never really is. I mean, a lot of especially when you start getting closer to the front, it's never easy to pass. So, but at the first part of the race there was just kind of learning like the lines, where you could pass, what you sort of got to do to make a pass, and how to look after the tyre and all that sort of thing. And yeah, then yellow came out. It's kind of a reset, go again, and try and just make it happen, I guess, do the best you could. And it looked like it sort of came to me with the front tyre sort of life. And I don't know, I was taking a little bit of a different line through 1 and 2 compared to most folks. It seemed to be helping me out a bit, I reckon.
Well, it helped out indeed. We saw you had some great pace, and well, setting the fastest lap as well is always a good sign. Yeah, you got that one as well. Yeah, just do it all.
Awesome.
But you sort of had some good pace towards the end. We were a little bit worried you might have taken a little bit of life out of the tyres, but with it only being about a 25 lap dash, were you just sort of thinking, no, just get as much speed out as possible, don't worry too much about the long run?
Well, yeah, that's it. When it's not too long to go to the end, you can kind of lean on everything a bit harder. But I was a bit worried I might have sort of come in a bit late. It's kind of a bit of a Mexican standoff there to see who was going to pit when, and I was thinking, I'll pit now. And then Hamish pitted, and I was like, oh crap. So I decided I'd just go a little bit more just to sort of have a different, had a bit more of a difference in tyre, so that if and when I got to him, I could, it wouldn't be as much of a close battle sort of thing. Obviously with a bit of a tyre advantage, you can make the most of that. So that's what I tried to do. And I thought it might have been a bit too much, like I might have been a bit too late because Jake was a bit far down the road. But I didn't actually see him when he pitted. So it looked like he probably took the best out of them long before we got to him. So, but he still put up a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw some great battles out on track, which is what we'd love to see. We don't like to see it too easy for you. And definitely wasn't that tonight. You had to battle your way up there. 21 positions gained in the race, and lots of fighting up the front of the field, which is what we love to see.
Yeah, definitely, man. Some close racing out there for sure. So that was good. Yeah, it was good.
Look, a great run tonight, guys. So before I let you go, the usual thing, the love, the shout out, the sponsors, the fans, go for it.
Yep, thanks to our massive fan base. I'm sure they're absolutely not even watching. But yeah, shout out to you guys massively for putting all this on as usual, and the league as well as with the broadcast. So love that. And yeah, thanks everyone for coming out for a race. And Simix.com, quick one to those guys. And Think Smokers, South Wales, Ben Max, all those cool folks. And yeah, full credit to the boys.
Absolutely. We're off to Sonoma next time. So I imagine you're sort of going, yeah, could have a chance there.
Yeah. I'll roll up and see how we go. But I mean, I never expect anything, so you just never know what could happen.
No, you never know what could happen. Look, good luck. I'm sure we'll see you back in the booth in the near future, Di. So congratulations tonight, and have a good evening.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Dyson, tonight's winner for the DPR car, and well, you've got to say, coming up to Sonoma next time out, Matt, he's probably one of the favourites.
Yeah, indeed. I'm sure he'll be starting at the back, as he likes to do, and trying to work his way through. But yeah, definitely go into that race. One of the favourites for that. As well, I think maybe Darren McKenzie as well. I'd put him right up there as well.
Yeah, we've seen Darren really running well on the road courses this season, and he could be a dark horse. And what about Jason Martin? We saw how good he was at Kota. Could he come back on form on a road course and just surprise us all? We will find out next week. Looking forward to that one indeed. But we've got more racing coming up for you here on Performance E-Streaming, so make sure to hit that subscribe button, also hit the like button, you know, the usual things that YouTubers say. But we have got Charlotte coming up tomorrow night for the ANZCAR Cup.
We do, and it's a long one as well, isn't it? I think it's slightly longer than normal. I'm not sure. But yeah, no, it'll be Charlotte with the next gen Cup car. And then on Sunday, we will be at Las Vegas and broadcasting the E-Series.
Absolutely, and we should be in for a treat there with the Australian Supercar E-Series at Vegas. Always a fun place to be. So we hope you can join us tomorrow night for the Cup, and we hope we will see you all there. But from tonight, from myself, Mr. Carl Wilkinson, with you, of course, Mr. Matty Hunter that does all the hard work, we will wish you a very good night and see you again soon.